Russia just made its first export delivery of the Su-57, the stealth fighter they claimed nobody wanted. 2 aircraft are already in combat duty in a foreign nation, and leaked documents revealed the buyer is Algeria. This changes everything for North African air power and Russian arms exports. But here's what Moscow isn't telling you about these jets.
On recent date, Vadim Badecha, Director General of Russia's United Aircraft Corporation, confirmed what many suspected. The Su-57 has finally found an export customer. Our foreign customer already received the first 2 aircraft. They have begun combat duty and are demonstrating their best capabilities. Now, Russia kept the buyer's identity secret, but here's where it gets interesting. The hacker group Black Mirror leaked internal Rostec documentation that exposed Algeria as the customer. This isn't random. Algeria has been Russia's biggest arms client in Africa for decades, spending over $60 billion on Russian weapons since 2000. The deal was first announced last November by Rosabaran Export, Russia's state arms exporter, but they refused to name names. Now we know why. Algeria wanted discretion as it navigates relationships with both Western nations and Russia.
Let's talk about what Algeria just acquired. The Su-57, developed by Sukhoi, is Russia's answer to the F-22 and F-35, a 5th-generation multi-role stealth fighter. Development started in the early 2000s, first flight in 2010, and Russia only inducted it into service in late 2020. Here are the specs: twin-engine super cruise capability, advanced radar systems, internal weapons bays for reduced radar signature, and thrust vectoring for extreme maneuverability. On paper, it's impressive. But here's the reality check. Russia itself only has around 20 operational Su-57s. Production has been painfully slow. In December 2019, the first serial production aircraft crashed before delivery. Then in June 2024, Ukrainian drones struck 2 Su-57s at Aktubstinsk airbase, a humiliating blow that raised serious questions about the aircraft's survivability. Western analysts have consistently questioned whether the Su-57 truly achieves 5th-generation stealth standards. Its radar cross-section is reportedly larger than American stealth fighters, and export versions may lack Russia's most advanced systems.
So why is Algeria bidding on the Su-57? 3 reasons. First, compatibility. Algeria's Air Force already operates Russian platforms, Su-30 MKAs, MiG-29s, and Su-24s. Integrating the Su-57 into existing infrastructure is easier than switching to Western systems, which would require completely new logistics, training, and maintenance networks. Second, geopolitics. Algeria maintains a non-aligned foreign policy but has deep historical ties to Russia dating back to the Soviet era. Western nations, particularly France and the United States, have complex relationships with Algeria over regional issues. Russia offers a politics-free arms deal. No human rights conditions, no congressional approvals, just cash and weapons. Third, regional rivalry. Morocco, Algeria's neighbor and rival, has been courting Western military partnerships and reportedly exploring F-35 acquisition through normalization with Israel. Algeria needs a counter, and the Su-57, whether it lives up to the hype or not, sends a message about Algerian air power ambitions. Russia also claims interest from Middle Eastern and Asian customers, but so far, Algeria is the only confirmed buyer. That tells you something about global confidence in this platform. This sale is about more than 2 fighter jets. It's a litmus test for Russian arms exports in a post-Ukraine invasion world. Since February 2022, Russia's defense industry has faced unprecedented pressure. Western sanctions have choked access to critical components. Microchips, precision machinery, composite materials. Production rates have plummeted. The fact that Russia can only spare 2 Su-57s for export while its own Air Force desperately needs them shows how stretched Moscow is. For Algeria, this is a calculated risk. They're getting access to technology that's theoretically advanced, but they're also betting on a platform with a troubled development history and an unproven combat record. The Su-57 has seen limited action in Syria and Ukraine, mostly in standoff roles, not deep penetration missions where stealth matters most. If these aircraft perform well in Algerian service, Russia could salvage some credibility for its struggling fighter program. If they don't, if maintenance issues emerge, if capabilities disappoint, it could be the death knell for Su-57 export prospects. The United States and NATO will be watching closely. Algeria's acquisition of advanced Russian fighters complicates North African security dynamics and could trigger countermoves from Morocco and Egypt. Russia's first Su-57 export to Algeria is a geopolitical gamble wrapped in a military transaction. For Moscow, it's a propaganda win, proof that their fighters still has buyers. For Algeria, it's a power play in a tense region. But the real test comes next. Will the Su-57 prove itself in operational service? Or will it become another overpriced disappointment? What do you think? Can the Su-57 compete with Western 5th-gen fighters? Or is this deal more about politics than performance? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more defense analysis breaking down what really matters, hit subscribe. I'm tracking this story and you'll want to see what happens next.